From Colorado Springs, Colorado, a big matchup tonight in the Mountain Division of the USL Championship. A potential history maker leads Colorado Springs Switchbacks as Haji Barry is 4 goals away from tying Cameron Lancaster for the single-season goal-scoring record. Luis Solignac trying to stop them for El Paso Locomotive. It's a big matchup out west, and it's coming up next. From Widener Field in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado, tonight's Mountain Division matchup is presented by Widener as the Switchbacks play host to El Paso Locomotive. Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr here with you. Excited to bring this one to you. A big matchup in the Mountain Division. We take a look at the table to start things off. The top 2 tangle tonight. The Switchbacks trying to slow down El Paso at the top of the table. Of course, an El Paso win will allow possibly San Antonio or Austin Bold to make up some ground tonight in the Mountain Division. But Devin, we start by looking in close at this phenomenal Switchbacks attack that leads the league in goals this season.
Leads in goals, they are number 5 in shots. They are atop the table at 20% in conversion rate. And lest we forget, golden ball right now in Haji Barry. Silver ball with Michi Galina. Haji Barry the most shots. Chances created, top 10, Michi Galina. This team has literally gone from rags to riches. Last year, 0.81 points per game, now well over 2. But what is it going to look like on the defensive side of the ball tonight in the absence of Jimmy Ockford? You're going to need guys like Sebastian Anderson, Michael Edwards, and the game winner, Matt Mahoney, who was able to salvage a point last time out. A little bit of rotation on the back line, rotation going forward. Can they keep that same fluidity without their captain?
Unstoppable force, meet immovable object. El Paso Locomotive have been just as good this season picking up the points, and they've done it on the defensive end.
Overall trailing in points, but it's the average that you want to look at, Sean. You nailed it right on the head. 2.17 virtually gives them the #1 seed in the USL Championship. This team, 77% of the goals that they stick in the back of the net is a team effort. They are assisted on in that fashion. They've got young, they've got old, with an asterisk in the sense that they're not really that old. They just know how to get it done. The difference is can you get it done when it matters on the road? Their last road victory, July 28th. They are few and far between, much better at Southwest University Park, 20 games unbeaten. How do those performances translate on the road against the #1 offense of the league? We're going to find out in 90 minutes.
Well, Colorado Springs have never beaten El Paso in their history. Of course, this is a different-looking Switchback side that's looking to slow down Locomotive tonight in Colorado Springs. We're ready for this one. It's the Switchbacks, it's Locomotive, and it's next.
This is our last chance for us to make playoffs. I need y'all to lay it all out on the line.
I need somebody that's looking out for me.
She don't own your ideas.
Coop signed a contract with my label, so I do have control.
Our justice system is fundamentally broken.
We fought to save this football program, but now there's something bigger to fight for. If we do nothing, then when's it gonna stop?
All American. Watch Monday at 7 on SoCo CW. Fox 21's Craig Coffey, voted the Gazette's Best of the Spring's winner, morning TV anchor.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you. Player walkouts tonight are brought to you by Children's Hospital Colorado. The Switchbacks and El Paso getting set to do battle as the top 2 in the Mountain Division. Tangle tonight in the USL Championship. Phil Long provides you with the starting lineups. We start with Brendan Burkside Mishi Galina unavailable for selection, but it's still a dynamic attack at the disposal of Coach Burke.
Unfortunately, they are going to be without their captain, though, in center back Jimmy Ockford, who's serving his suspension. Red card last time out. 5 changes overall. Among into the lineup up top. Haji Barry will drop into the pocket, but he'll move from outside in. 3 new on the interior for the midfield of Colorado Springs, who are going to have their work cut out for them against one of the best midfields, if not the best in the entire championship. Ross and Ryan paired next to each other, Chapa Herrera and Diego Luna. This gives you some fluctuation in what it looks like going forward. They can pinch themselves in, box the midfield. You'll get a lot of overlapping runs from the outside backs. Solignac will lean the line up top. They had been sitting 2 with the 10 sitting in a 4-2-3-1 style. This is going to be more of a flat line, but expect a lot of rotation from the visitors.
Well, Widener Field has already become one of the USL Championship's Western Conference gems, and we're expecting a good atmosphere tonight with El Paso in town, trying to extend their lead in the Mountain Division table. Colorado Springs will kick us off in their home blacks. El Paso defend in their road whites, and we are underway from Widener Field as the top 2 get together in the Mountain Division in the USL Championship. Switchbacks trying to start out quickly here. Among chases it through. It's cleared by Logan Ketterer. Switchbacks have never beaten El Paso in their history. Although both coaches mentioned this is not the same Switchbacks team of yesteryear. They are a team to be reckoned with. You see there, El Paso has won 4 of the previous 7. But Brendan Burke is hoping to change that tonight. These 2 drew back in June in Texas, and of course they meet 2 more times after tonight as well, which is why this one in particular could be a tone setter to see how this divisional race ends up. Let me touch on this near side, closed down nicely by Michael Edwards, out for a throw. Switchbacks drew 1 apiece against RGV here last time out on September 11th. That Ockford red card that Devin mentioned earlier played a part, but a huge, huge late equalizer from Mahoney salvaged a point for Brendan Burke's side against a really good RGV team that's also made a lot of strides this season. And El Paso, of course, coming off a 2-0 victory against Sacramento that same day, looking to continue their push for the top spot in the USL Championship as a whole. And they're off to the races here on the break. Could be an early chance. Shot comes in. Good save at the near post by Sean Melvin, and Locomotive have an early corner.
This is the quick start you needed if you're Brendan Burke, though, at home. Your goalkeeper to set the tempo right away. Mark Lowry and his squad, good ball movement, and as this rotates outside, the near post is ripe for the picking. But goalkeeper does a good job planting himself, coming all the way back across, even with the amount of momentum that's put on this ball. Plenty of pace, but an excellent save by Sean Melvin.
It'll be a Pikes Peak National Bank corner for El Paso. Good to see Nick Ross on it for the first time tonight. Part of that really strong midfield that Mark Lowry has at his disposal. And he whips in a good ball at the back post. Crucial header away by Matt Mahoney. And we'll switch ends. That'll be a McDivitt Law Firm corner on the opposite side. Mahoney, of course, the match winner. I should say the match equalizer. Last time out for the Switchbacks in that 1-1 draw. And El Paso will try from the upper end. Another one in from Ross. Among with the header. Turning shot, wasn't a bad effort at all from outside of the penalty area. Certainly ambitious. Solignac made the goalkeeper at least watch it.
Easy, Lucho. Easy, buddy. A little bit too early to plunge strikes like this. We're just getting acclimated to the atmosphere, the altitude, everything. 4 minutes inside the game. I'm not necessarily sure either one of our pipes could handle that goal call, bud.
7 goals to his name this season for Lucho. And that would have been the best of the bunch. I think even if he'd hit the target, we would have been close to an early gasp here at Widener Field. Of course, we'll be on record watch as well tonight with Haji Barry's 21 goals. He's 4 away from tying Cameron Lancaster. They do a heck of an effort to tie it, but of course he's still got a bunch of games to potentially chase down and break that record. So we'll see if he has a chance to chip away at it tonight. All through the middle. Thomas Among was the target. Keter controls. And El Paso can clear. Aaron Gomez initially. El Paso could open things up here potentially. A couple of runners through the middle. Lucho was the target. It goes out for a goal kick. There is Haji Barry, again 4 goals away from tying, 5 away from breaking the record for single season goals in USL Championship history. Anderson initially, now this is Haji Barry. Barry sliding it through, looking for it on the other end. They have an appeal for a foul at the edge of the penalty area. The Switchbacks continue their attack. Now they'll reassess. Makangila initially. Edwards.
You can see the very distinct lines that we talked about for El Paso Locomotive defensively coming in, Sean, where the shape has been ever evolving, if you will, over the past couple of matches. Primarily known for all the magic they produce out of their diamond-shaped midfield. Last 2 games have gone into a more traditional 2-holding midfielder type 4-2-3-1. But again, with all of the people that they have, especially this team, people like to talk formations, there has to be a starting point, right? And Mark Lowry gets them going in the right direction better than anyone in the league. When you have guys like Rebellon, Ryan, Nick Ross, Dylan Maris, Sebastian Velasquez, Diego Luna, it's almost like insult to injury in a good way, because they have so many different components that are so similar. So how do you get them all in the field at the same point in time? And we went in depth about that. And so that's why they did start to have pretty much 2 holding midfielders and then allow the front 3, referencing the midfielders underneath the striker, to sort of roam a bit and have some more fun. They've changed it up again tonight. And how does that affect Colorado Springs? Just a couple of minutes in, Brennan Burke has tweaked it too. He's gone with, we've only seen it one other time this season, flat back 3, Edwards at the right back position, Hodge and Mahoney. It gives them plenty of options moving forward, but defensively, you've got to be very careful because there's so much space, even in the few moments we've played already, so much space in either wing for them to get in behind, and can your 1v1 defending be stout?
Aaron Gomez was trying to make a run down this near side, but it was good defending by Edwards on the cover. Now Among running out of room, trying to keep it alive for the Switchbacks. He does so successfully, and then loses out. Makangila recovers possession.
Push it, Ronnie!
Now to Shane Beckford. It's up, losing out. El Paso will pass their way out. Switchbacks trying to put some pressure on here, and Anderson maybe put a little too much on, commits the foul, and allows Locomotive to alleviate some pressure.
Colorado native just trying to make some friends here with Nick Ross. He's one of those midfield pieces for Mark Lowry that really allows this team to tick. I mentioned coming in, their ability to combine. And they move back to front. All the goals they've stuck into the back of the net this year, Sean, 77% of their goals have come off of assists, 27 out of 35. That's amazing, especially in a Western Conference that is usually known as a wide open type league. This team can slow it down, speed it up. Would say that's probably the biggest thing that they've picked up over the course of the year, is to add to their identity. They've always been able to maintain possession, but now their ability to go quick in transition. And it doesn't have to be with the double-digit goal scorer, but just the intent overall, right? The confidence that they know they can go 70 yards in 5 seconds, but they can go 70 yards in 5 minutes.
Cheers, Matt. Hey, now. Hey!
And Gila tripped up from behind. Foul assessed against Nick Ross. William Hoffman is our center official tonight, and he gives Nick Ross a little bit of a talking to there. And Gila. Lovely range of passing out to this near side, but Anderson can't keep it. Did he keep that in? Assistant referee says he did. Play continues for the Switchbacks as Haji Barry flares it forward, and a handball is given. And it's a set-piece opportunity here for the Switchbacks. Free kick brought to you by Joint Chiropractic. We've got your back.
Richie's argument was that it was off his hip, and it does catch the hip, but it also catches the arm. Of course, one is okay, but both is very bad, especially when your arm is involved, Sean. We know that over time, it's frowned upon when you use your hands in this game, apparently.
I've been told the same. Yeah, it's a little rumor that's been going around.
You would think with the evolution in sports and, you know, changing shot clocks and speed up the pitch, you know, all that kind of stuff, that maybe they'd let us use our hands. But no, in fact, that is not a good idea.
Not to be. Not to be.
One day, they'll see the light. One day, my friend.
Meanwhile, the Switchbacks, with only the use of their feet, try to create an opportunity here. Maybe the head as well, and it's wide. Oh, it was on a plate at the back post. Mahoney, who scored the equalizer against RGV last time out, had El Paso on the back foot, but he couldn't hit the target.
Oh my, how does this one not end up at least on frame? Absolute daylight for him to tuck this home, or at least go after Logan Keter. Give him something to think about. Matt Boehner, Mishak Jerome, get the marking wrong. Keep an eye on that center back pairing between those two. Yuma unavailable, came off at halftime last time out. That's a big loss for them. Forget the possession. The communication between those two is next level. And so when you lose a piece like that, and Matt Boehner is more than capable of stepping in, but when you lose it and you immediately add him to a mix with all the numbers being thrown at you by Colorado Springs, got to be quicker in response.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. It was wonderful on the delivery on the other end, and then Mahoney got in great position, just couldn't put it on frame. And besides the Aaron Gomez chance that was saved at the near post by Melvin at the other end, it's been the best chance of the night so far. 12.5 minutes played, and El Paso have a free kick on the other end of the field. Aaron Gomez, a bit of extracurriculars there with Argueta. So El Paso will have an opportunity on their attacking side to create a chance. It's another good lofted ball into that back post. And it'll go out for an El Paso corner on that far side, brought to you by McDivitt Law Firm. Very similar placement on the Switchbacks, one on the opposite side of the field, and they'll get another chance on the far side from a corner. Looks like William Hoffman is going to make sure that there's some control inside of the penalty area. A little bit of talking back and forth between these two. Again, at the top of the Mountain Division with 3 games still to play against each other head to head. It's still anyone's race for the top spot. And of course, the Switchbacks trying to get their first ever win against El Paso. Near side initially is kept in. As Eder Borelli wins a corner. Pikes Peak National Bank provides it, and El Paso again will get back to the set piece game.
But stop and start over the past couple of minutes. Hard to really find any sort of rhythm within this game. That's what both of these teams are all about.
King came short for it. It's played towards the far post. The Switchbacks had it covered, and they will settle for a throw. El Paso has been a little bit of a up and down start to this game. Not a ton of moments yet. Just 15 minutes coming up on it here. Gone. We talked about it. The top offense, at least scoring goals-wise in the league against one of, if not the best defenses and one of, if not the best teams in the league. In El Paso, and Mark Lowry's side. See, there are 50 goals this season with the likes of Phoenix in the neighborhood as well. Just 16 conceded for El Paso. They're looking to score one, though, here. Off a turnover. Crucial block in there defensively. Aaron Gomez was able to take aim, but his shot was blocked. El Paso recycle it. A little flare into the penalty area. Again, blocked initially, and then shepherded out for another El Paso corner as they start to turn the screw here, Locomotive.
This is where they get you to. It's not just the strike at the beginning of the movement, but all of the boys in the rotation. Diego Luna coming over. A little breathability within his kit itself. We'll get to that later. But as he comes back to the inside, now all of a sudden, there's that influx of personnel on the inside that I talk about. 20 yards in, best in the biz.
Good header away, center part of the penalty area. It's flared back to the edge of it. Chance here for El Paso, but it's going to be passed back, then all flared in with good shape, but not enough power on it. Now the Switchbacks try to do what they do best, try to hit on the counterattack here. Mark Lowry talked to us, though, about the balance his side was going to need tonight to stop the counterattack so they get back in numbers and win it back, just like he was hoping. But then it goes out of play as Lucho could not keep it alive. Talking about the table specifically, big game for the Switchbacks, with El Paso currently holding a 9-point advantage in the table with a couple of games in hand coming into tonight. So a win for Locomotive could make it a really tough climb for the Switchbacks to catch them at this point in the season. A 12-point difference. But if the Switchbacks can cut it down to 6, could potentially make this a very interesting race in the Mountain Division, although, again, El Paso just 2 defeats this season. You can argue they've been the toughest team to beat all season long.
They haven't coughed up a lot of points in general, yet alone giving up a loss, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the loss is one thing, but just even be able to squander a point out of them. They've doubled that tally in the win column, though. Mark Lowry and his team every single year have gotten better and better. 19 and 20. Western Conference finalists. A little argument with Real Monarchs in 2019, then of course Phoenix Rising last year.
Switchbacks now on the attack. Pass was scuffed by Anderson. And a foul allows El Paso to reset. Two clubs battling over the Atlantic Division's final playoff spot take center stage when the USL on ESPN continues. Charlotte Independence travels north to Dillon Stadium to take on Hartford Athletic Thursday, September 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes.
The little shift from Switchbacks FC is very interesting in what they're trying to do. They went into a 3-back earlier on this season, and in that game, Brendan Burke said it's the most fun he's ever had coaching on the sideline, and it's quite interesting to hear that given some of the personnel that he's had at his disposal over the years. It was the 5-2 win on August 14th at RGV. It was just an absolute train wreck from start to finish for RGV. All the runners coming at you. It's different tonight, though, with the personnel, and it's not just because of Beckford and Galena unavailable for selection. Right side overloaded high.
Great ball out wide by Barry, and then Anderson, who was looking for a handball in there, deflects out, and it's going to be a Switchbacks corner as we've had 20 minutes gone here in the opening half. T. Rowe Price corner upcoming, though, for Colorado Springs with an El Paso player still down.
You saw the movement coming on that right side as we were just getting into it. The right side is overloaded high with Haji Barry and Thomas Among. And what ends up happening is one of the front three will just come underneath. That allows more space on the right to open up for Sebastian Anderson. Great two-way player, the defender. Gets up and down the flank excellently for Switchbacks FC. The left side is where you really want to keep an eye on because they're gambling a bit more. Deshane Beckford, although he's sitting in what would be considered as a wingback midfielder type role, he's much higher than the midfield three and much higher than his counterpart Sebastian Anderson. That puts a lot of responsibility defensively on Tristan Hodge. And how does that back three pass back and forth when it does break down and El Paso start to come the other direction?
Anderson's corner. Not the best of headers on the edge of the penalty area there. Gila, I believe, was closest to it, and El Paso will win another free kick and alleviate some pressure. Oh, and a lovely outlet to this near side here. Solignac plays it through. A chance here for El Paso, and a crucial block by Anderson. Aaron Gomez, though, doesn't give up on it, and the shot goes over the top. It was a lovely little flare back across, and Diego Luna could not hit the target, but that's what Mark Lowry's looking for.
Mark Lowry says that Mishak Jerome knocks one of the best balls in the entire country, not just the USL Championship, distributing from backline forward. That's a real good representation of his skill set. Anderson maybe gets away with one as it comes off the shoulder area. Notice the recovery defensively, though. Very quickly, Colorado Springs is broken down, but just as fast, they're able to regain their composure, pull 7 behind the ball to the 4 of El Paso Locomotive. Good job defensively.
Mark Lowry also reminded us that about Diego Luna's progress this season, talked about how he's just turned 18 and has just been phenomenal. Was a project when he first came in to Mark Lowry and just has been phenomenal. You see his numbers there, 5 goals, 4 assists this season, and nearly got on the end of a lovely play from El Paso in the build-up. Among, who was able to scamper away, didn't get the ball, but Wakangila bails him out. Barry helps it along. Argueta out wide. Barry from Beckford. Barry switches fields, forcing Anderson to retreat, but he comes up with it. Anderson's forced back to Edwards. Hodge. Barry on the back heel, ends up falling back into the feet of El Paso. Now Luna. All the way back to King, who clears. The referee has blown his whistle here. There is a player down on that far side. Looks like it is Deshane Beckford, who is slow to get up. phenomenal attack for Brendan Burke's side this season. I think the 6 assists are probably the most impressive, but 3 goals to his name as well. It was with RGV a season ago. Haji Barry was trying to slice that through into the middle of the penalty area, but it was easy in the end for Keter. Now on the turn, out on Gomez. Like Edwards had initially won that battle, and Aaron Gomez is booked for his troubles as he tried to recover it, but did so unsuccessfully.
You may not like the card from William Hoffman, our referee, but it's the intent on the backside of things because it's retaliation. He's already had a couple dust-ups so far, but as this thing turns over, great defending 1v1 from Michael Edwards. That's what his manager was going to ask of him, and then right there, never going to get to the ball, hanging on for dear life. Booked, deservedly so.
Yellow card's been issued to Aaron Gomez of El Paso. Caution sponsored by Diversis Health. Mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Now the Switchbacks on the attack. Ball was over the top. The initial header by King nearly let Barry in. It's out for a Switchbacks throw. Beckford looks all right. Play continues. Barry scoots past one, flares one in. It's going to be way too much on it in the end, and out for a goal kick.
It's been difficult for them to sort of build at all, Colorado Springs, so far. There's a great response from Locomotive on the inside. We talked about how Nick Ross and Richie Ryan were sitting flat in terms of the line, so they had coverage with Aaron Gomez on the left and Diego Luna on the right. But what's really well done right now is the quick little pinch in, because whatever side the ball's starting to move towards, so let's say as they move towards the far side of our screen, the left for Colorado Springs, the right for El Paso, Chapa Herrera and Diego Luna will tuck themselves in and almost box it, which is exactly what Colorado Springs have. They have 4 to their names. It's Argueta, Echeverria, Macangila, and then Among or Barry are dropping in. So it's basically one-off in terms of marking, and you don't have the ability to play through any lines. So the ball gets rotated to the outside. You look up and go, okay, what's my next option? But all your options are right where the ball just came from. It's beautifully done so far from El Paso Locomotive.
Beckford blasted that away after the free kick was called. He's a little fortunate not to be booked for that. Play continues for El Paso this time. Ball passed back to Nick Ross, who controls. And the return pass, Ross was just about able to keep that in for Locomotive, but he's forced backwards. And El Paso showing you there, great in possession. And they turn it into attack here. Give and go with Luna through the middle. Switchbacks have it covered. Also looking for a free kick. Play continues. It's going to go out for a Switchbacks throw. El Paso are still protesting over a potential free kick that should have happened earlier, in their opinion, in that sequence. Referee explaining why he didn't give this last decision.
He gets poked in the leg, to be fair. I mean, you can see him take it on the backside of the boot. Watch this slide on the end here. Welcome, Matt Boehner. Hello. Studs up the entire way. That's sending a message. Don't mind the intensity, but for the referee, that's an angles thing. I'm not siding with him. Let's be very clear here. I think he missed the call there, if you look at him, because he catches the backside of Aaron Gomez.
Well, now we have another challenge here, and this time a booking. Steve Echeverria is going to be taken and booked. Another yellow card, this time for the Switchbacks, brought to you by Diversis Health. And here's a look at it, off the throw-in.
Ooh, that'll leave a mark. Father Time may not be catching up with Richie Ryan, but Echeverria is. Coming in, the midfield was going to have to be very active for tonight for Colorado Springs. They have been so far. I'd like to try and find a way to break down this midfield. You would imagine this is going to be something much quicker in transition the way that the game is going right now. That may not necessarily be an overall surprise, but the fact that they have had a lot of possession moving from midfield going forward. You know, Paso Locomotive not willing to open it up and get into a track meet with them. When there is a turnover, sitting back, biding their time, springing the other direction.
Switchbacks were pushing forward a little bit there, but again, El Paso showing great composure in possession. Well, that pass is picked off by Mahoney. And one back in the midfield. Great job by Richie Ryan to step back in there. Well played forward here. Aaron Gomez just trying to sneak that past Mahoney unsuccessfully. Luna, lovely back heel. And the centering pass from King was cut out. But we've seen a very organized and deliberate El Paso so far, and a lot of positives despite obviously the scores being empty for both sides so far.
You can notice that when they start to attack going forward, they're not willing to be risk takers. So this long ball up over the top, you'll get Solignac, you'll get Chapa, Herrera, and Gomez. Very rarely are you getting more than that at this point in time. Their defensive line is so deep because of the absorption of pressure that I just talked about. Unless the lines are reset, which is actually what's playing out in front of your eyes right now, and they get an opportunity to move a bunch of numbers forward, they're not taking chances. Heck of a challenge there by Boehner.
And referee waves it away. Brendan Burke now is incensed. Among was on the receiving end. Well, and that look says it all about what Brendan Burke thinks of that challenge. It stopped a Switchbacks counterattack. And we talked to Mark Lowry about how dangerous the Switchbacks can be in transition. They said we've got to stop them as many times as we can, and apparently at all costs.
Well, that is one of the ones where as your line comes higher, literally the point of no return. If you get turned there, the game is over. So many teams before have fallen ill to that situation where it's one little quick turn, and even if the goal scorer doesn't come from the person who made the initial move, now you've got all those options because it's downhill. Everybody is running at Logan Keter, so smartly read by Matt Boehner. Looked to be a well-timed challenge as well.
Solignac gets past a Makangila challenge. El Paso could be in here. It was a really good ball through the middle. Nobody in a white shirt got a piece of it. Now the Switchbacks can attack on the break potentially here with Haji Barry striding through the middle. He has Beckford out to his left. He finds him. Four Switchbacks streaking through the middle. Haji Barry turning through traffic. Barry assessing his options, trying to sneak that past, I think 3 or 4 El Paso defenders before it was cleared away. Once again, El Paso showing you how well they are defensively organized, as Haji Barry could not find a teammate. It'll stay though with the Switchbacks on a throw. Ball in behind here, and it was shepherded out for a goal kick. Couple of fans disagreeing. As Echeverria was trying to make up some ground. But in the end, Mishak Jerome had it well covered. Keter will take it. Had to be quick as Among was on his tail. El Paso were able to slow things down a little bit. Beckford. We got a lot on that to Shane Beckford, and then tries to muscle his way. But it's great recovery work on that far side by King.
Really good job just squaring up on Macaulay King, Shane Beckford. Ronnie Argueta and Echeverria doing a better job providing some support to deny the midfield duo of Ryan and Ross any sort of ability to help come through the build. Relying more on the outside or quick balls off the back line from Boehner and Jerome.
USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition to their USL senior teams. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. About 35 minutes gone, coming up on it here in Colorado Springs. Jean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr on hand. Widener Field is the location tonight of this top two battle in the Mountain Division of the USL Championship. A stalemate so far as El Paso try to keep their unbeaten run going against the Switchbacks all time in this series. And if they win tonight, Locomotive could open up a huge 12-point lead at the top of the division. Brendan Burke talked to us, about the potential of 3 matches left. Catching El Paso is still very much in the mix, but he said, well, listen, we want to have a home playoff game. That's the biggest thing for us. We want to make the playoffs, and we want to have a game here at Widener Field for our fans to watch us play in the big time. And obviously, this is potentially, 2 playoff teams here, the kind of quality that the Switchbacks would be facing if they got to that point. We're obviously seeing how they've handled it so far.
If they finish 1-2 within their group, they would go to opposite sides of the bracket. So the only time they could meet in playoffs would be the Western Conference Final. The funny thing about that is they faced one time tonight so far, or one time this season. It was the 1-1 draw earlier on, and yet now they're going to play each other 3 times in less than a month.
And actually, this becomes even more important with San Antonio's win on the road against New York Red Bulls 2 earlier tonight, Devin. And now they're even on points in the live table. And Beckford has been down once before tonight.
Watch the high knee. Again. Yeah, watch the high knee right there, King. And it's not just the knee. Saw it come up and play, and it's actually the entire boot that just follows through and rocks him on the torso. Easy.
And I think Brendan Burke just got another look at that. Of course, the referees don't get the looks that we get and that the coaches can get with the technology on the sides. And of course, there is no VAR as well. That's not going to change the emotions, though, that are coursing through the veins of Brendan Burke, however.
Well, the argument that I would make here is, regardless of the amount of contact, we could still see there was contact in gameplay. I mean, whether it's his knee coming off the shoulder or his entire size 11 midsection, there's still contact. Have to be better here. That's kind of been his argument all season long, and I tend to side with him. There's been some interesting decisions, we'll say, or lack thereof, that haven't necessarily gone the way of Switchbacks FC or have gone against them over the course of the 2021 season. A little bit lucky for Beckford coming off the header off his back. Quick little turn, and just saying, keep an eye here, please. Protect my players.
It's going to be a corner for El Paso on the other end. Brought to you by McDivitt Law Firm. El Paso have had quite a few set-piece opportunities from corners tonight in this first half. Haven't taken advantage of any as of yet. Oh, it's a bit dangerous through that middle, and Sean Melvin was able to be quick off his line and hop onto it. Anguilla now under some El Paso pressure. Barry striding through the middle. Gets tripped up. Now Diego Luna. Lovely give and go initially. That was the right idea. Pass wasn't fully into the path of Luna, but he has a good ball into the middle. El Paso complain here for a potential penalty, and then Luna goes on. It's still not dealt with. And then Melvin, at the third time of asking, corrals it. Well, Brendan Burke is pleading with the referee over something as his team strides forward. Meanwhile, El Paso were looking for a penalty inside of the area. Nothing was given, and the play continues with Luna. Macaulay King with a ball in behind, but better defensive work from Mahoney. And the Switchbacks can reset. As the last 10 minutes or so have certainly been amped up in this first half. 5 minutes plus potential added time to go in this opening 45. Argueta. Some space here for Haji Barry to run into here for the Switchbacks, but his touch lets him down. And despite a deflection, El Paso deal with it.
That's an unfortunate mistake. They had numbers and they had quality spacing. Funny how this game goes, Sean. Sometimes there's no magic whatsoever. Other times the influx of your performance so up and down, it's hard to really catch any sort of true identity within a game.
Aaron Gomez had the right idea, but could not thread the needle through the penalty area that time. Now Haji Barry. Anguilla. Over to Anderson, who finds Edwards behind him. Ball flared out wide. Haji Barry. To Shane Beckford with a lovely touch. Beckford into the penalty area, and it's right across the face of goal, and the chance goes begging. We'll take a look at the chances at both ends.
Yeah, start with Diego Luna, and what a good ball this is across. The argument was for a penalty here. Actually thought on the initial challenge, he got ball, and he does get the backside of the striker from Locomotive, Solignac. Quick distribution. Time goes, about 2 minutes here passes as Switchbacks FC come the other direction. Beautifully done by Shane Beckford. He and Haji Barry right now are really starting to find some quality momentum within each other. You wonder if it's too little too late within the first half, but can that now spill over into the second 45 minutes?
Lovely challenge by Anderson to win that back, and then El Paso nearly got it back through Ross, but the Switchbacks maintained possession. The intensity has certainly been wound up at the latter stages of this opening half. A bit of a fortunate little deflection there allows Aaron Gomez to get towards the penalty area here. Cross across to Luna. Luna lays it off, and the shot goes begging over the top. Again, it was great El Paso build-up play. And then in the end, it was Herrera who couldn't hit the target.
Luna's going to regret giving this one back because Michael Edwards mistimes it. Had a little help from Mac and Gillis. This comes all the way back across, head up. This is one you learn when you're young. This is standing foot, and the idea is that he wants to bring it back to the top of the 18, but you don't need to. If you let the ball come across your body, little touch with your right foot out in front of you, now you have both options. Because you can go one-on-one to goal yourself, or if you think that opportunity has closed itself down, cut it back across, and then you can let the support come up. You're also going to bring him closer to goal. So that strike's not coming from 18, 20 yards out. That's going to be just inside the top of the box. You're looking at 14 to 16 yards, or you're even closer, 10 on your own.
Among from Barry, across the face. I think it took a little bit of a deflection. allowing Logan Keter to corral it. Coming up at halftime, we take a look. It's a playoff prelude. We see the potential matchups that we could see in the USL Championship playoffs. News around the league as well. And of course, we'll look back at the highlights and stats and big moments from this first half between the Switchbacks and Locomotive. Certainly talking points in this first half. Seems like everyone's taking their turns as well to be up in arms on the near touchline as well. But nothing to separate the sides as of yet. And we've seen some of the best of what could be yet to come. Here's Anderson. Anderson's ambitious ball is easily chested into the path of Keter by King.
Another one of those decisions that just didn't need to be made there. Kind of like the Diego Luna chance a second ago. Obviously two very different areas on the field, Sean, but you've done all the hard work on the initial turn. And the idea is, yeah, sure, as I take a step out in front of me, I'm going to ping a 50-yard ball over the entire back line of El Paso Locomotive, and all is going to be right in the world, and we're going to go score a goal. The difference to that is you've got all the space in front of you. Just take it. That's not easily given up by El Paso. Take it in front of you, continue the movement going forward, find some friends, and go have a little fun.
TikTok Shop presents our stoppage time at the end of the first half. 3 added minutes. We've had 30 seconds plus of it so far. Switchbacks attack was cut out, but they win it back. Haji Barry slides it, I should say, past 2. And then not on the same page with Among through the middle. Makangila regains possession. Out wide for Tristan Hodge to run onto. Hodge with a good ball into the middle, and it had to be dealt with there. Ishak Jerome got a good touch on it, and it is a corner for the Switchbacks in injury time at the end of this first half.
Almost there. It's really close. Another real good ball put into the mix. I do say that what I've seen in terms of distribution coming from the outside and dead ball situations so far for Colorado Springs hasn't been poor by any means. They're not blowing anybody off the charts, but they are challenging Locomotive.
Corner brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, that's what I like. Switchbacks would like to take the lead here potentially at the end of this first half. It was a good ball in, a couple of heads on the end of it. Nothing directed towards goal. Makangila kind of throws it back into the penalty area, and Logan Keter is able to make the catch. Can El Paso have the final word on this first half? So forward by Nick Ross. Solignac, excuse me, on this near side. Solignac goes down, and he's just limping a little bit after that challenge came in. And then fell to the ground, and nearly as well did Brendan Burke after seeing that challenge. He was not thrilled.
It's a great job to just hold it up. A little knock right there. Again, the way the game has gone, I'm not overly surprised. How's the manager feel? Okay. Little game of hide and seek with the referee. Never hurt anybody.
Well, we've seen an array of expressions from Brendan Burke specifically in this first half.
The one sure way to beat the Switchbacks.
Penny for a thought from that man right there.
I don't know, you might want to keep your penny. I think we know what he...
I have a pretty good idea.
The expressions, I was going to say, are giving us a nice picture of what he's been going through.
Can promise you that penny is worth way more than 1,000 words.
Keep your hands in it, boys!
Meanwhile, Lucho will have to come back on. Solignac has had a few touches of meaning in this first half, but not a ton to be difference-making touches as of yet.
Go, Melvin!
El Paso looking to land a late blow at the end of this first half. But Melvin has it covered. And that is the last action of a pretty entertaining first half at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. It stays as a stalemate, no score. Two big saves from that man, Sean Melvin, so far tonight as El Paso created some good opportunities. The Switchbacks on the other end got going, but weren't able to make the breakthrough.
Definitely lacking the fireworks overall from either one of these squads, but efficiency reigning supreme. That's not very surprising for El Paso Locomotive. Would say that the fact that the passing accuracy has been so high for Switchbacks FC is a good thing. The problem is his play has been so slow. Haven't hit the target yet. For the #1 offense in this league to not be able to at least challenge the goalkeeper, that's problematic. Got to turn up the heat in the second half.
We're looking forward to the second half between these two. A couple of early blows, some range of emotions, but so far a stalemate. The Centura Health halftime is coming up next from Colorado Springs.
The Colorado Springs on-tap craft beer passport is back. That's right. For $20, you can enjoy a flight of craft beer from each participating brewery. Just go to fox21news.com, click on Features, click on Deals, and purchase your craft beer passport. The Colorado Springs on-tap craft beer passport. Purchase yours today. Fox 21 Storm Team's meteorologist, Matt Meister, voted the Gazette's Best of the Springs winner, TV weather anchor.
Back here on the Centura Health halftime report, Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr here with you. We'll get you to the second half of Colorado Springs and El Paso in just a few moments. But first, we'll take a look at the USL Championship playoff bracket as it stands going into today. Both divisions, obviously from the East and the West, will meet to start things off. And then obviously point totals from the regular season will dictate home field the rest of the way.
Given the speculation we put out last week, we thought we'd go with a hypothetical that is more factual. Playoffs start today. These are the teams that are going to get in. So let's talk about what that could look like theoretically. I'm going to start in the Mountain in the Western Conference with El Paso Locomotive. Best team in the USL Championship with an asterisk next to their name. Why do I say that? It is one of the best defensive units. They're definitely better at scoring goals. They have 77% of their goals are assisted on. That's team play, and I don't care what you say. The problem is they struggle on the road. So if they want to win this, the #1 overall seed has to go to El Paso Locomotive. It has to go through Southwest University Park. They are currently in the driver's seat for points per game. Still work to be done. And then who? The Big Bag Wolf. Western Conference wonders, as I say. Phoenix rising once again. They have another fantastic opportunity themselves. Currently chasing down El Paso in the sense of that points per game. El Paso Locomotive have games in hand around teams in the USL Championship, so Phoenix just has to continue to go about its business, at least in the West, and also see what happens in the East. Phoenix, as always, can make a run. Too many options going forward. The dark horse, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Why? Because it's not Barry or Galena or Beckford or Lewis or overlapping runs by Sebastian Anderson or Thomas Among. They've got all they need to do some dirty work down in the final third. Can they keep balls out of the back of the net come playoff time? They can run and gun with the best of them, which is why I think they can make a run at this thing in the Western Conference.
Transitioning to the East, obviously Tampa Bay's rolling right now. They're on a really nice run. Pittsburgh look as good as they've ever looked under Bob Lilly. And then you can't forget about Danny Cruz's Louisville City either.
Ah, yes, Louisville City. I forgot about them. How could you? No, okay, so you're right. Let's start with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, though, right? The Tampa Bay Rowdies are currently on pace as we speak to set back-to-back game shutout and consecutive minute records within the USL Championship. You think about the work that they're doing and the situation that they're in, and they've done it without a full depth chart all season long. Guys up front, Lucky Casana, right? Juan Tejada, Luis Fernando, everybody. Steven Dos Santos was hurt. Now everybody's starting to come back. Defensively, they're even better than they were before, which is scary. And now the final third is starting to tick together. Then you turn the page. Louisville City. Win it in 17, win it in 18, losing the final in 19. Eastern Conference finalist every single year. If they get healthy, and there's a big if there because it's been a problem all season long, you can't tell me that they're not a contender. Absolutely they are. The Eastern Conference is going to come down to home field advantage. If Louisville get it, it'll run through Slugger. If Tampa Bay Rowdies get it, it's going to run through Al Lang. But you can't forget about the Pittsburgh Riverhounds either, because it's Bob Lilly at the helm, number one. Number two, this is the most tactically and technically talented team he has ever had. I just need him to start beating some teams. I need him to beat the Rowdies or beat Miami, beat someone that's relevant within the playoff race, because right now, out of 13 wins, they've only got 2 who are actually making the playoffs. Remember this through all of it. Seeding only matters in the first round. After that, it goes to points. So if Colorado Springs has 69 points and second in the Mountain, and Phoenix has 68, first in the Pacific, Colorado Springs would host the next round game. That's very important as this plays out, because your number next to your name only counts first game, then all bets are off.
And obviously still 10 games to go. We'll see if these matchups end up playing out or if it'll look completely different. We'll take another break. When we come back, more looks around the league in the USL Championship on the Centura Health Halftime Report.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Right-footed shot, and it's in! Knocked away.
Looking for Para. Could fall for an opportunity here. The shot comes in! Oh, it's brilliant!
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you
so
got next?
Lee Cohen, he was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you on the Centura Health halftime report. Goalless so far between the Switchbacks and El Paso. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, also brought to you by Centura Health. We start in the second minute with El Paso on the attack.
They get it going early. Defensively, they got to go in early for Switchbacks FC, though, and that's exactly what Brendan Burke was hoping that his goalkeeper was going to show up. With his willingness to throw all these numbers forward, theoretically, didn't turn out that way in the opening 45 minutes. He was going to leave exposed on the backside. The goalkeeper, Sean Melvin, willing to step up. There were a couple of opportunities for the home squad. This, to be honest, was probably the best one. The fact that Matt Mahoney wasn't able to get this on frame. He was the hero in the 1-1 comeback draw last time out, able to salvage a point. Visitors start to counter the other way. Is it a penalty? The answer is yes. Really hard to tell in real time. Actually thought that he got the ball. Again, it's one of those things that when it's slowed down, we have the luxury of seeing it. The referee does not. They are human after all, aren't they, Sean? We all make mistakes.
They are, and you're right.
Believe it or not. Still his fault, by the way. 42nd minute. Switchbacks FC. Ball in transition. Like to see more of this. That diagonal ball where they hit that and anywhere between 20 and 40 yards that splits the back line open, but then immediately they attack. There wasn't enough of that in the first half. Barry comes out. Beckford comes in. I don't care who it is on the swip swap. They need to do that more in the second half because that's where Locomotive were most vulnerable in the first half.
The Centura Health halftime match stats. And Devin, you mentioned it before we even went into the halftime break, but the biggest number on here is probably a big goose egg as far as shots on target here for Brendan Burke's Switchbacks.
Outside of the last 65 seconds, because I counted, promise you, I've never seen a team outpass El Paso Locomotive in a single half. Now, it ended up in favor for the visitors, but that's something to keep an eye on. Colorado Springs will always concede possession and even concede accuracy for more chances going forward. Let's see how that turns out second 45.
We're excited. Second half is coming up next from Colorado Springs.
Today, our quaint little town becomes a really big deal.
We have to fight back. They're a billion-dollar corporation, and we're
Nah.
But I care about the people in this town.
People seem excited.
With all of the mining stuff, if they want to play dirty, I'm all in.
The Republic of Sarah, new series premieres Monday, June 14th, only on the CW.
Moments away from the start of the second half at Widener Field in Colorado Springs, Colorado. No score as of yet between the Switchbacks and El Paso Locomotive. William Hoffman getting his set for what should be another entertaining 45 minutes as the top two continue to tussle at the top of the Mountain Division in the USL Championship. Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr alongside. Happy you're with us here for this huge midweek matchup out west. Both teams had some chances in the opening 45 minutes. El Paso had a couple very early on, and the Switchbacks grew into the game. They created some stuff off the counter, a few things from set pieces as well, but no shots on target for Brendan Burke's side. We had a penalty appeal in the first half as well. Referee did not end up giving it in favor of El Paso. And that's where it stands at the moment, a stalemate between two of the best in the West.
It's not overly promising when you lead with some and few for Colorado Springs, my friend.
Fair enough.
No, those aren't words that are regularly used for this team.
But then doesn't the credit go to El Paso and how well they've been organized?
But defensively, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
That's how this game is going to go for them. They will not test themselves too often. You don't see them take, I use the word risks in the first half. When they are, though, they're calculated. They'll send numbers only, and if only, they have clear-cut advantages in certain areas, or they have the field to help them out. Use the sideline as another player.
Oh, lovely dink by Deshane Beckford. He got blocked on the first attempt, and then El Paso smuggled it away. It's a lovely touch to get past King initially, but then he wasn't able to venture any further.
That came right back onto him, too. Came into the hip. How is your touch? Spicy, by the way. Spicy. It's a little bit early to be skating in Colorado.
I was going to say, too spicy for King, that's for sure.
Poor Macca. Macca doesn't know how to ice skate.
Beckford was stood up at the vital moment inside of the penalty area. And Gila quickly takes this free kick for the Switchbacks. Argueta passing behind initially, thought better of it. Argueta keeps on going here, and it was a good ball into the middle. Echeverria was closest to it, besides the goalkeeper, Logan Keterer.
It's a promising start here again, and this is one of the things I talked about, them stretching the game. That also comes from the midfielders. It's not just Echeverria or Argueta, but when they do start to invert back to the inside, who occupies the space that was just vacated? 2-3 minutes to go in the first half, we saw it twice. Neither of which, as you can tell by the scorebug, did anything up in the back of the net, but it was promising. And so now you take that, you take the ideas that you were trying to implement, and then you tweak it. That's exactly what Brendan Burke is looking for, at least from a start. Give yourself some momentum to build upon.
King out wide. Chance here for out on Gomez, and he's brought down. It'll be a free kick for El Paso, and pretty good positioning here.
Such an unnecessary step in here by Tristan Hodge, one of the more consistent players for Colorado Springs. He knows it too. He's going to be frustrated with the referee's call, but there is contact, and as this ball is moving away, there's no reason to step in. Just keep it in front of you. You're ushering him literally away from the party. Continue the movement. Everybody's lined up behind you. Make them reset. Make them change as opposed to gifting them an opportunity.
Sean Melvin organizing his line. Mishak, Jerome, along with Richie Ryan over this for El Paso. It's Jerome. It's a little bit awkward in the middle of the penalty area, I believe, for Mahoney. El Paso have a corner on this near side. It'll be a T. Rowe Price corner. Invest with confidence. Both teams kind of taking turns here, creating opportunities. Corner whipped in here for El Paso. The header was not straight enough. Melvin had to punch that away. It's still not dealt with, and Luna of an awkward attempt from just to the right of the penalty spot, and it's well out of play for a goal kick.
You ever been to Colorado Springs?
I have flown over it, I believe.
In a plane?
Yes. Sorry, yeah, bad description there. Haven't developed the magic powers yet, but yes, in a plane.
Fair enough, fair enough. You got to be clear these days.
Fair enough.
I don't know how much you took in your brief experience in your flyby.
You get a good view of the Rockies, to be fair. You really do. And Amon could get a good view here at goal for Colorado Springs. Beckford lets fly, and Keter didn't deal with it great, but he's able to recover it.
Oh, now he's hurt.
This is not an easy strike for Beckford coming back across the body. They play quick, tries to get stuck in. Well done by Haji Barry. Notice head up the entire time. Really well done here because he has space himself, sees Amon drifting back in, and he knows, job well done. Hold it up. Allow the support to come in underneath, and this is what I'm talking about on that strike. You're already starting to drift to your right to then pivot a little bit, get your boot on it, and get enough momentum, more importantly, to try and beat the goalkeeper. Very, very difficult by Beckford. Decent save by Keter.
Once again, Deshane Beckford being attended to. On this near side, we'll certainly have the Brendan Burke cam at the ready for any more emotions in this second half. He certainly provided us some great pictures in the first half. And Andrew Fox is warming up here for El Paso. It looks like there might be a change here. Matt Boehner was down. off camera, and it looks like that might be the end of his night.
2 defenders in about 90 minutes of play. Yuma, last time out.
Yeah.
Against Sacramento Republic. He went off at halftime. Keter comes on, finishes the second half. Job well done. And now 6 minutes into the second here. In a 51-minute time span, Mark Lowry has lost his starting center back, one of his backup outside backs, backup center back, and now you're moving into what you would call third string. Of course, Andrew Fox more than capable of getting the job done. That's just not exactly the script you'd like written.
And Andrew Fox is on. Substitution brought to you by William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. Mark Lowry did mention to us, just because of the squad rotation and the amount of depth at his disposal, his team's used to this to a certain extent. Injuries are still a place where they can make positivity out of it. But obviously, you just rattled off some pretty important pieces there, Devin. It'll certainly put even El Paso Locomotive's depth to the test, as good as it is. We played all the way back to Keter with Among giving chase. First touch from Fox. Done by Ross. Makangila with a handball appeal continues to move forward with it, and the pass is flared in to be dealt with by King. And the El Paso's attack breaks down with Solignac trying to have a little bit of a give and go of flicks, unsuccessfully. Here comes El Paso, and the shot is flared over the top. Well, Solignac tried one on the opposite end of the field in the first half. This one was a little bit closer, but in the end, too ambitious even for Lucho.
He hit the one at the start of the first half, too.
Yeah.
3 minutes and change in, told him to slow his roll. Trying to do the same thing here, said run it back. Beautiful pivot. That's a seasoned vet right there. Notice, as the ball starts to bounce, he looks to his shoulder on the left side. Notices the back line had backed off him because they expected him to spray it over to the right. Said, I'll take that, thank you very much. Up over top of the bar, but gives you an idea of how quick that processing chip for Solignac is working tonight.
Barry trying to flick it on into the path of Among, and then it's going to be able to be picked up by Ketterer off the feed back to him off the head. Pass over to this near side. Chapa Herrera. Jerome. Nice centering header there. Played forward by Ryan initially, but the Switchbacks win it back, and this could be dangerous, but a huge header by Jerome to stop Haji Barry, who could have been striding in on goal. Now El Paso again on the attack. Lovely turn in traffic by Solignac, and he's brought down by Makangila.
I talked to you in the first half about the starting shape for the midfield of El Paso Locomotive. That rings true even further defensively for how good they are, especially when Colorado Springs, it seems like the play tonight is really slowed down, but if you notice, especially over 15, 20 minutes, really to end the first and to start the second, much quicker for the boys in black as they try and work. You know, right around the center circle, finding Among, finding Haji Barry. Deshane Beckford's obviously he's probably been the best out of the front three overall. And what it all comes down to is when Jerome steps in. That's the biggest thing here, is when there is a turnover, when it does break down, they're set up for success every single time. Failure's not an option, and it's about the disposition of each player and the understanding of the system. And defensively, 100% one of the best in the biz.
Ooh, Melvin took a little bit of a heavy touch, but gets it away. And then a further heavy touch by Anderson gives it right back to El Paso. Helped on by Echeverria. Among wins a free kick. He was pushed in the back, in the opinion of William Hoffman, the referee. And a yellow card has been brandished as well for the substitute, Andrew Fox. Yellow card has been issued to Andrew Fox of El Paso. Caution is sponsored by Diversis Health, mental health, and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. And I think that's what Andrew Fox needed to do before he spoke up to the referee. So the Switchbacks will reset things. Still looking for a breakthrough in what could be a pivotal game at the top of the Mountain Division in the USL Championship. Switchbacks, though, on the attack. Pass into the middle, looking for Barry, almost fell for Beckford. Chested on by Argueta, and it's cleared away by Maka King. Mahoney dancing past a couple of Locomotive players, gives it away. Well played through, it needed to be a little bit better for Solignac, who was not able to get anywhere near it, and it's out for a goal kick. Join USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-Heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community that have shaped the USL. And El Paso probing here. Luna had a brief touch on it, as did Chapa Herrera. Luna out for a throw. Looks like we're gonna have a change here. Stephen Chaveria is going to be withdrawn, and we will see Andre Lewis added to the midfield for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Substitution brought to you by William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org.
That's a very good shift for Echeverria. All he was asked to do was occupy space.
Right.
Just lock it down, make sure that nobody gets by you. Not a lot of ball movement through him, but that was never going to be asked of him this evening. Just in front of Makangila alongside Argueta. Fantastically done over 60 minutes.
So dazzling Deshane Beckford play there. Leads to a turnover. Beckford able to help Solignac off of it. Lewis's first touch could spring a Switchbacks counterattack here with Sebastian Anderson. Barry running through. Among through the middle, Lewis is with him as well. Nearly fell for Lewis. Anderson, and then a save off the line as Among is denied by Keterer. Goodness me. And Brendan Burke can't believe it.
Incredible. This is incredible from Logan Keterer. I'll never forget, going into their most recent New Mexico United game, the 1-1 draw, I said right to Mark Lowry's face, respectfully, he does not belong here. This kid is lights out spectacular between the pipes. Few goalkeepers in the entire championship get their hand on that thing, yet alone push it aside. What a save by Logan Keterer.
Now a Pikes Peak corner kick here for the Switchbacks. Oh, and it was Hodge who had a chance to get there, but completely missed it at the back post. And Argueta settles for a throw on the far side as it's starting to pick up again here at Widener Field. This is Lewis. Edwards now. Shane Beckford now. Closest chance the Switchbacks have had, but not on Logan Ketterer's watch for El Paso. Brendan Berksider on the move again with Shane Beckford.
Positive, Andre, positive.
Lewis. Argueta. Beckford. And he's denied a further foray near the penalty area.
You can teach a lot of different things within this game, but raw talent and gut instinct is not something that you can teach. He knows. Among knows this was just next level stuff from Logan Keterer. Not one that got away, just kept at bay.
Diego Luna is going to be withdrawn here. Sebastian Velasquez will enter for Mark Lowry's El Paso Locomotive, and Dylan Merez is also going to come on. And Chapa Herrera is also going to make way. So a double change brought to you by Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center for Mark Lowry's side as they try to change things up.
He needs fresh legs, but it's also a response to the Andre Lewis sub. Andre Lewis dropping more traditionally into the midfield. They're going to give him more freedom to roam than Argueta had in that attacking midfielder type role. Of course, with the departure of Echeverria, that pretty much relies only on Lewis. So you'll see more of a double pivot on the midfield, and Mark Lowry says, okay, I needed some fresh blood to begin with. Yet on the fact that you're going to change shape? Absolutely. Certainly not checkmate at this point in time. Just moving pieces on the board, having a little fun while doing so.
Game still seems like it's on a knife edge at the moment. And El Paso have only been beaten twice all season long. San Antonio and RGV, the only two to get all 3 points off of them in USL Championship play. The Switchbacks are also looking for their first ever win against El Paso in the club's history. El Paso are trying to keep the Switchbacks within, I should say, arm's length away from them in the Mountain Division table. A draw would do that, to be fair, would keep it as is. But the Switchbacks are pushing for more than that. They want to close the gap as Lewis wins this back. Haji Barry surging forward for the Switchbacks. He leaves it for Lewis. Lovely back heel to Barry. Barry leaves it for Anderson. Anderson nutmegs through one, and then the pass is well over the top of anybody in the penalty area wearing a black shirt.
Nice little steal on the inside, and I have noticed that if you watch them attack, things seem a bit helter-skelter at the tail end of it, as opposed to that clear-minded decision-making we've seen from Colorado Springs in games past. Haji Barry looked to the left shoulder, waited, finds Lewis, and then just look, they're waiting for it to develop on their own. Great bit of individual skill by Anderson, and then trying to pick out the far post run of Beckford. Just gets away from him. His manager will be happy. They have been better offensively here in the second half.
And Velasquez was holding his head there. And this happened off camera, off the throw-in, it looks like. Now they're making sure Velasquez is okay.
Just on a throw-in up over the back. Little flick right into him. Ooh.
Argueta from behind.
Medic. just came on. Little ice bag, please.
Looks like Sebastian Velasquez wants to continue, which is a positive sign for El Paso. And now can Locomotive create something here? 67th minute at Widener Field. It's still a stalemate. One back by Andre Lewis. This is where the Switchbacks can be dangerous. Among leaves it for Beckford. Lewis for Anderson. Anderson for Barry. Barry shoots. Keter spills and recovers before Lewis could follow up.
Cup of coffee at halftime for Colorado Springs, huh? They're really
double shot.
There's a pep in the step here in the second half that is really reminiscent of what we've seen over the course of the season. Much better here, good rotation. Love the addition of Andre Lewis. He has an identity to himself that is really starting to translate to this team moving forward.
Oh, lovely little Maradona turn there from Lucho to keep possession with El Paso. Now Velasquez for Locomotive. Gets past his opposite 55 in Hodge. Sneaks it through into the penalty area. Forced back out. All the way back to King. Now Mares. Velasquez. Paso continue to probe around the penalty area. The first touch pass is wayward. Here come the switchbacks with Among. A little push and a chase, but good defensive work there by Mishak Jerome.
One of the issues you run into if you're Colorado Springs or anyone, none of the fact, playing El Paso Locomotive. Not only have they been paired up next to each other, but they've come off the bench. Dylan Maradison, Sebastian Velasquez. You'll see a lot of intertwinement in their movements together where the proximity is going to stay close together. You won't see them separated too often because of the understanding of the position. So as he cuts inside, tries to put it on his left foot, Sebastian Velasquez. Dylan Maris is not too far behind. Waiting in the wings, asking for the overlapping ball, awaiting the drift to the back post.
And a really good ball in, and a header at the back post. It was wide open for him. And El Paso miss a huge opportunity. Mark Lowry can't believe it. It was a really good chance for Aaron Gomez, and he missed the target from point-blank range.
Told you coming into this game, expect a lot of overlapping runs. We haven't seen a lot. They've stayed back, very disciplined. Erebarelli finally gets forward, puts this thing, an absolute peach of a ball on the back post. Expect better from Gomez.
And it's Mark Lowry's turn to wonder how that didn't go for Locomotive. But El Paso are on the attack again. Aaron Gomez was making a really good run through the middle. The early ball wasn't on. Lovely push and a chase on this far side here for El Paso. Switching fields here, King, good touch. It's still Macca King, outside of his boot. And the shot leaves a lot to be desired in the end. And it's out for a goal kick. More hands on heads. Would have taken something special for that to go for King. As you see there, both teams, so rare that they've been shut out. Just twice this season, El Paso have failed to score. The same goes for the Switchbacks. It stays scoreless. 20 minutes to go at Widener Field. And a breakthrough could be oh so precious for the team that scores it. Velasquez. Beckford wins it from him.
He's been brilliant tonight.
And wins a free kick.
So good defensively. Creating a lot on the other end of the field, but defensively, Deshane Beckford, next level, helping out. Said that he had to cover so much space, and he has. Now just needs a little bit of help to get this thing going and finish it off.
Among trying to help him do just that. Lovely centering pass for Barry, who leaves it. This is Andre Lewis. Lewis out wide. Sebastian Anderson. Haji Barry. Barry across the face. Nobody there in a black kit. But Among picks it back up. This is better again from the Switchbacks. Argueta Lewis, and Lewis couldn't find Argueta on the give and go. As Brendan Burke's side continue to spring into life in this second half.
Much better ideas, and just keep an eye on the head of everybody. Left, right, forward. Everybody's looking for the next ball, and then the one after that, more importantly, Sean. No longer is this a one-off where it's, okay, who do I have in support? They're thinking 3 and 4 steps down the line, and that's why you're seeing every single player from Colorado Springs get involved in the attack. They have all the options because they're starting to think beyond this level. It's, if I break this down, great, where do I go from there? And if that doesn't work, where does the next step come from?
Keter sends it forward across midfield. Argueta wins the header. Gonna get into a dangerous position for Jerome to deal with. Fox helping out for El Paso defensively. Little flick on. Edwards didn't quite deal with that. Locomotive on the attack, in behind. Velasquez keeps it in play. Able to skip past Tristan Hodge. Velasquez, and his pass is off the mark. It'll go back to the Switchbacks.
This is one of those things with Sebastian Velasquez. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain. And forgot something. Yeah. Even when you know a player is gonna go a certain direction on one foot, it's still impossible, right? I want to be real clear. I'm not comparing him to this player, but Messi's the same way. There's some guys it's right foot only, it's left foot only. A little love to my boy Seba for that magical left foot of his. Starting to come on as of late. Scored a couple quality goals, some beautiful build-up. The build-up part has never been lacking. Statistically, Mark Lowry won't be upset about the numbers starting to end up in the back of the net.
Well, and Deshane Beckford has been issued a yellow card here for the Switchbacks. Sponsored by Diversis Health, mental health, and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. There's Velasquez. Has a word with him. We'll take another look.
Goes old school on the backside too, a little Space Invaders game. It's a foul, with all the arguments about. Put her hands on him, clip him from behind. Beckford and Velasquez.
The El Paso Messi, is that
No,
yes, no?
No.
Every other city's got one.
Easy shot. Every other city is dreaming.
As you can see there, just the tension has been high all night. A free kick for the Switchbacks to defend. Melvin had to get a piece of it and did at the back post with Fox lurking. It's going to be recycled though by Locomotive. Ball placed back into the back post. Hodge got his head to it for the Switchbacks. And Deshane Beckford brings it away. Oh, dazzling work there from Beckford on a give and go now with Among, and Among can't keep it in. It was really good work though, until it just ran a little bit too far away from the Switchbacks number 9. Fans appreciating the effort and skill seen tonight by their Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Now awaiting a potential breakthrough. Andre Lewis, Haji Barry, they win it back. Edwards helping out to get it to Anderson. So Lignac was able to put some pressure on. And then he was faked out there by Mahoney. Edwards up ahead. This is Sebastian Anderson for the Switchbacks. 15 minutes to go. Haji Barry in behind. Barry keeps it in play, looking for a teammate. The deflection, Anderson on the second try. Leaves it for Haji Barry, goal scorer turned distributor here at times in the second half. Lewis. Assessing his options. Floats it out wide for Barry. Barry puts one in for Among. It's over his head, and Beckford couldn't get it on the second bounce. And then Argueta commits the foul. And El Paso survive another Switchbacks wave. Looks like a change could be upcoming here. Looks like Thomas Among's race is run. Another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. We'll get to see Yaya Toure come on for the last 14 minutes.
More importantly, at least from my humble opinion, you're going to get Haji Barry to what I call his natural position. What you've seen over the course of 75+ minutes so far in this matchup is an understanding that he's going to float a lot more into uncomfortable areas. And what I mean by that is space where he doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to go break people down. He's stepping into space that is already occupied by other players within his team as well as the opposition. And so it's much harder for him to turn and then run. When he plays up in the 9, that's one of my favorite things about him, is he can still drop down in, but he creates this separation between the back line and the midfielders where he gets into that gray area, then he can turn, then he can go. And as he pulls some of the center backs with him, you get runs like Toure, Among, Lewis, everybody coming right through. That's where they're at their best.
Pikes Peak National Bank corner. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. As the Colorado Springs fans try to build some atmosphere, try to get their team over the line with 3 points, but they need a breakthrough here. Off the corner, it's a crucial header helped on, but Argueda's able to retrieve this, or at least let it go out for a throw. Still have 12 minutes plus potential stoppage time for a twist in the tail. Again, if it stays the way it is, El Paso will maintain a 9-point lead at the top of the Mountain Division. El Paso win, will up that to 12 points. But if the Switchbacks can pull this out, they would close the gap to just 6. And again, these two teams meet 2 more times later on this season. Beckford with a spinning cross over the head of his 2 targets in the middle, Lewis and Toure. Paso thought they had won a throw, I think, although I think it was changed. So El Paso, after the protest from King, I believe, will get a throw. And this fascinating chess match continues. You see their last 6 matches, the Switchbacks have been rolling offensively, 17 goals. Of course, Mishi Galina unavailable for selection tonight. We've still seen some really good play, especially in the last 15 minutes from the Switchbacks going forward. But it's still honors even at the moment. El Paso have had their chances as well. Of course, that huge Aaron Gomez header that missed the target inside of the 6-yard box earlier in this second half. Arguably the best chance for El Paso, and then of course the double save from Logan Keter as well to deny Among, especially on that second try. Now, Aaron Gomez leaves it for King. Can he get there? Challenge comes in from Hodge. It's still an El Paso throw. 10 minutes to go.
You got to give a lot of credit to some of these last-ditch defensive efforts that have been made tonight, Sean. I mean, these are ones where you're fully outstretched. If you're even an inch off, you're getting sent off. That's how close they've been, but also how good to be able to time those 50-50s that well.
Great work from Mishak Jerome getting into and out of traffic. Solignac now trying to hold up the play for El Paso. Merez, the substitute. Left it initially for Ryan. Solignac picks up his head, looks for a teammate now. Flares it out wide. Chance for a cross here for Locomotive. It ends up dribbling in there and being cleared. Only as far as Ryan. Pass is picked off initially by Beckford, and now El Paso can reset through Mishak Jerome. The give and go here for El Paso. Nick Ross. Played out wide. Aaron Gomez. Challenge initially by Hodge. Argueta helping out. Still not dealt with. Velasquez. Aaron Gomez. Flicked on in the middle. Could come for a shooting chance. Wasn't a bad effort. It was well struck from distance. But in the end, it's well out of play. Lewis over the top. Haji Barry. Good hold-up play. Barry waits. Barry looks to strike. And it's out for a goal kick. Well, Barry went 1v everybody there and nearly hit the target.
Just like the tackle on the other end. That full extension to try and make this absolutely perfect for Haji Barry. Very difficult to do. First one gets away from him, but a reprieve in space. Andrew Fox recovers, not willing to dive in. Notice how he sits back because he expects that explosion to come towards him. Haji Barry makes that exact move, and as he does, has to really reach for this thing. Natural momentum brings it back and away.
Another William J. Hibble change for the Switchbacks. Darren Yappy is on. Deshane Beckford, who's had a phenomenal night on both ends, as you mentioned earlier, Devin, for the Switchbacks, makes way.
And just keep an eye on El Paso Locomotive, because as much as they've had to deal with here defensively in the second half, this has been a second half team over the past couple of games. Last 6 matches, they've stuck 12 balls into the back of the net, 10 of which have come in the second half, but most importantly, 6 have come in the final 15 minutes. You look at that 1-1 draw at the tail end of things at New Mexico United back on August 14th. Matt Boehnert, cheers to you on that strike, brother, in the box. And then how about everything that went on in that Orange County game? They gave up 2 goals in 6 minutes, felt like they were the better team. They were, but they were still chasing the match after Nick Ross opened in the 20th minute, Carijo in the 89th. You always hear about teams that go on to these glorious runs that win a regular season title or take down the entire thing, about them being special. I haven't heard it more this season than I have about El Paso Locomotive within the group and around the league. Everybody talks about how special they are. Let's see if there's any magic left with 5 minutes to go.
Here come the Switchbacks. Andre Lewis trying to slide it through for Yaya Toure. And Logan Ketterer, who's come up trumps multiple times tonight for El Paso. He's able to slide in and snag it.
By the way, in case you're wondering, I made a change at halftime. I didn't go with the normal throat coat tea. I went with throat coat and ginger. Did not like the combination.
I was just going to say, different tactical adjustments for next time?
Yeah, that was a bad idea. I parked the bus way too early on that one.
I think Jose Mourinho might be on line 1 after that. 5 minutes and change, plus potential added time still to go. Is there late drama at Widener Field tonight, one way or the other? Velasquez trying to find a way through for El Paso. But the Switchbacks stand him up. Andre Lewis now skips past one, fouled by another. And Ryan.
A bit lucky here.
They say frustrated with a teammate, I think, more than the decision.
Yeah, he's upset because he wants it quicker, and that's why the ball gets given away, and that's why he has to step in. He wants Velasquez to release it because he's got Solniak right at the top of the box, and then you force the decision by the midfielder. He's in a lose-lose. He either gets around him and they're in trouble, or he gives up the tackle. I'll take the tackle any day. Slow it down, even if you get the card. Allow yourself to regroup, get more behind the ball.
Lewis, 4 minutes to go. Makangila. Haji Barry, could he come up with a big moment? Step overs past one. Lewis trying to get it back to Barry, and then Lewis loses out. Couple of big El Paso challenges in there, including one from Ryan defensively. Switchbacks don't want to let this go, but El Paso is able to get away with it for now. Pressure on this near side. Switchbacks with Brendan Burke asking for a, for a dive on the near side. Aaron Gomez wins a free kick. Ryan, Lee Velasquez, King helping out. Fox, the substitute. Solignac does well in tight quarters. Velasquez looking for help. King helping him on the overlap. King with a first-time ball in. Mahoney deals with it. Argueta. Got a little fortunate, finds Yaya Toure, who concedes it back. Now Ryan, who did well to split the defenders there. Could open up for a shot. Again, the technique wasn't bad at all from outside the penalty area, but Solignac was not able to make the goalkeeper move for it, and that's going to be his last touch. Lucho is withdrawn, and Ricardo Zacharias is going to enter.
He actually pumped fake on this thing. He started his movement and then stopped. And, you know, it's that triangular play. This is stuff that is really bred into you as a kid that just continues to move its way through the professional ranks. Lots of movement both on and off the ball. And how smartly done here by Aaron Gomez, because he's got the run coming right down through. Could have easily dinked it up over the top, gone for the spectacular. Instead, the simplistic way is sometimes the best. Drops it over the shoulder, gets a strike off.
Also, Leandro Carijo is on. And Aaron Gomez makes way. A couple of William J. Hibble substitutions. Now the Switchbacks on the attack. Anderson finds Barry. Lewis tried to get it back to cutting Haji Barry unsuccessfully. Now El Paso, with a minute left of the 90, plus potential stoppage time, regained possession. Good chest down, but then Lewis couldn't control it when it hit the ground. And then Velasquez, referee waves play on off the shirt pull. Perez retrieves. Also, looking for a few more numbers potentially to join the fray, but they've only been Switchbacks who have come back to defend. Zacharias initially, now King.
Good ball.
Chance here for El Paso, and then another ambitious effort from well outside the penalty area doesn't trouble Sean Melvin. TikTok Shop presents stoppage time tonight. We have 4 more minutes to go for a chance at a winning goal. One that could potentially be worth its weight in gold in this Mountain Division race. Although again, it's worth mentioning these two teams play 2 more times after tonight. It was 1-1 in El Paso earlier this season, back in June. And so far, it's been a stalemate here in Colorado Springs. There is a Locomotive foul. Just a Locomotive player down after a foul.
Real careful here, Richie. Ryan in the little collision. Watch his head. Oh. Get tangled up with Andre Lewis. There's no malintent on it at all. Both guys just trying to make a play on it. 90th minute. Jump straight up.
This has been just as good as the game. The Brendan Burke cam tonight has given us plenty of emotions. Shows you how much he wants it.
He recognizes we have the ball and he lays on the ground.
Fighting for every inch for the Switchbacks as Ryan is up to his feet. And the captain's armband tonight for El Paso.
Nice little mark over the left eye there. You look like a boxer.
These two have fought like boxers, El Paso and Colorado Springs tonight. But on the judges' scorecards, it's still even. Haji Barry making sure that William Hoffman is factoring this in as far as potentially more than 4 minutes of stoppage time. He was satisfied with the referee's answer, and we play on. And it's always worth mentioning it's a minimum of 4 added minutes because of things like this that can happen. King for El Paso. Keeps possession as Yaya Toure hounds him. And it ends up going out of play for a Colorado Springs throw. 1 minute left of the 4 added on with potentially a little bit more on top of that. Can Colorado Springs come up with something in the latter stages here? Goal at this stage would certainly be decisive if there is one. But again, Ishak Jerome heads it back to Logan Ketterer.
Line! Line! Stay it, boys!
El Paso on the attack. Could they provide us with a late twist? Ross, so he gives it away here. Lewis leaves it for Anderson. Still time, I think, for the Switchbacks to come up with something. Hodge looking for Barry. Barry does well to leave it off for Toure. Toure back to Barry. Barry surrounded, and he can't squeeze his way through without the ball. And King, King held on to it, but then lost it out for a corner. Pikes Peak National Bank corner. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. Can the Switchbacks come up with a late winner here? Their fans certainly think so. There is still time to take this. Sebastian Anderson going to provide a teammate with a magical moment here, deep into injury time. El Paso, though, hold their line and headed away. Only as far as Toure. Sent back in. Mahoney keeps this alive. Chance for Colorado Springs, and Ishak Jerome was there. Now El Paso's turn to try and fight back on the opposite end here. Carrijo cannot keep it in. The Switchbacks will have to hurry here. Into the 6th minute of injury time. And that's gonna do it in Colorado Springs tonight. Honors even between the Switchbacks and El Paso Locomotive for the 2nd time this season. Locomotive continue to hold a 9-point advantage over Colorado Springs in the Mountain Division. These two, of course, will meet 2 more times, but at the moment, El Paso still hold the advantage.
Regardless of the fact that no one came out on top, if I'm Colorado Springs, I'm happy with this because of the fact that I just competed with one of the best teams in the entire USL Championship, and I've done it twice now. That's momentum, that's confidence, that's exactly what you want. If you're Mark Lowry, you lose 3 of your defenders in 51 minutes, bridge between 2 games, he's happy with 1 point. Move on. Colorado Springs probably could have gotten out of here with 3 points, if not for Logan Keter. But how good was Deshane Beckford?
Votes are in. The Better Business Bureau man of the match is indeed Deshane Beckford. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. He was phenomenal tonight for the Switchbacks, defending and in attack as well. And we also have for you the critical moment of the match presented by Centura Health. And really both goalkeepers came up with some big saves tonight, but this is a big one from Sean Melvin. And then, of course, the sequence there with El Paso on the attack, and Melvin was there again.
2 minutes and change to start the first half. Great save on the near post, and then coming back across. Anybody could have stopped here, waiting for the referee to step in. Instead, beautiful save and a better recovery is the important thing. Could have coughed that up, ended up in the back of the net. Well done by both goalkeepers, especially Sean Melvin.
It finished scoreless between a couple of Mountain Division heavyweights. We'll take a break, and we'll wrap things up next from Colorado Springs as it finishes Switchbacks 0, El Paso Locomotive 0. Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you at Widener Fields, Colorado Springs, Colorado. It finished Colorado Springs Switchbacks 0, El Paso Locomotive 0. We'll take a look at the full-time highlights here in Colorado Springs, brought to you by Widener Field. And Devin's second minute, we saw El Paso stretch their legs.
Told you we got it going early, and this is actually a poor mistake coming out of the middle between Macanguila, Echeverria, and Ronnie Argueta. They get it wrong. Adon Gomez almost gets it right, if not for Melvin on the near post. Fantastic save. Colorado Springs would start to respond, though. 10 minutes later, 12th minute. Watch the free kick put on a platter. Anderson, Mahoney. Oh, that's the combination they wanted. Great mismatch in between the two center backs, Boehner and Jerome. Got to put this on frame. He knows. Got it right last game. Gets away from him here. 40th minute just before halftime. Diego Luna goes to work. Takes one touch, looks up. How well does he hit this thing? Right on the deck, just puts it in front of Solignac. Should have been a penalty. Real time, thought he got good contact to the ball. Didn't. Saved by Melman. And then watch the deflection. The way this thing bounces back, this could have easily have ended up in front of the advancing Adon Gomez. Good recovery, and we go 0-0 at halftime. 51st minute, turn the corner. There was vengeance in the second half. All Colorado Springs. They switched it up, but they couldn't bring it back. Among trying to get involved. Smartly done. This is one of the best plays he had all game, too, because notice, the long ball comes. He has no help whatsoever and says, okay, let me just hold my time for a second here. He occupies the two center backs. Deshane Beckford, your man of the match for Colorado Springs, comes through, puts it on frame. Another save, Keter. Stop me if you've heard that before. Almost spectacular from Solignac twice. Both in inside 5 minutes. First half, second half, not to be beaten. Sean Melvin. Again, there's a theme here. Lots of chances in the second half. Lots from the home squad. And as this comes back out, Haji Barry really thought he might have gone 1v1 here. And though he doesn't, volley from the center, and then watch the second chance. And this is just downright rude from Logan Keter. Apologies necessary from the goalkeeper. Keeps us out of the back of the net. Keeps the clean sheet. And keeps a valuable point on the road.
Widener full-time stats here, and a ton of shots for both teams, 16 of them for El Paso, but just a combined 5 on target, and the goalkeepers really shined.
3 on target for Switchbacks FC. I'm almost positive all 3 came in that last sequence on Logan Keter. He was amazing. I said it before on that sequence that he should not be in this league, and I don't mean it disrespectfully. I mean it because his talent level is next level. They still sit in #1 in the Mountain Division. But given the way the tiebreakers play out this year, remember, it's goal differential between the like opponent. So San Antonio currently hold that advantage over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. As mentioned, Colorado Springs will play El Paso 2 more times. They will actually get an opportunity to best the current second place team. Final day, October 30th. That's going to be a doozy for 30 out of 31 teams in the championship.
And of course, a lot of teams still below the playoff line in the Mountain that could make their way into the playoffs. Well, another fun one tonight in the USL Championship. It seems to deliver every night these days as the playoff races continue to tight. These two went toe-to-toe, and yet again, it finished honors even. For Devin Kern, our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques, saying so long from Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs 0, El Paso 0 as the plot thickens.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.